Jason and I are the new Simon Cowell and Randy Jackson. Plus, we'll get in deep with guano, and you will find out about one of the best shows that's happening in Los Angeles that you didn't even know about. All this and more on today's Last Looks. Hit the theme! Hello, all you cigar-smoking sheriffs and jackbats. I'm your host, Paul Scheer, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? Last Looks, where you, the listener, get to voice your issue or issues on bats. And as always, I reveal next week's movie. But first things first, a big, huge shout out to Quinn for that spooky John Carpenter-inspired opening theme song. I gotta say, that was great. And we love your Last Look theme song, so please keep them coming. And not only do we want your Last Look themes, but we are potentially looking for a new theme song for our regular movie episodes too. In fact, Jason is going to join me later, and we're going to critique the first batch. We're going to go through. It's going to be like American Idol for your theme songs. I can't wait to hear what you think of them as well. So tell us if we got it right or wrong. Anyway, we want more songs, and it will give Jason and I more to critique. Anyway, if you think you have what it takes to oust our current theme song, send it in, and you'll see after this episode what we are looking for. All right. And when you send them in, send it to howdidthisgetmade@earwolf.com. Or you can post it on our Discord and the theme songs channel. Yeah, we got a channel for that. At the very least, Jason and I will judge your song on air. And you know what? That sounds like a true pleasure. I know that would instill so much anxiety in me, but you know what? You're better than us. Anyway, people, How Did This Get Made is on the road. That's right. Next week, we're going to be in Maine. We're going to be in Providence, Rhode Island. We are going to be in New Haven, Connecticut, and Brooklyn. Come out, see us. Come dressed in costume. Come singing a song. Come asking your questions. Just go to hdtgm.com for tickets. And I also want to just call out one thing, one really awesome thing. I am putting together this charity event. It is called the Givebacular Spectacular. It's a night of comedy, music, and variety, some games with amazing people like Lily Tomlin, Jeremy Allen White, Patton Oswalt, Ray Romano, Michael McKeon, Rachel Bloom, Janelle James, Nicole Byer, LeVar Burton, Drew Carey, myself, June Diane Raphael, Simon Helberg, Jack Quaid, Jack Black. The list goes on and on. Sam Richardson's going to be there. It's going to be a great night, and it is all to help our crew who are struggling due to this Hollywood strike. And the money we've raised has been impressive. I've co-founded this organization, and we've raised over $500,000 in 4 months. It's a ragtag group. All the money goes through the Motion Picture Television Fund, Emergency Healthcare Fund, and I'm going to give you a thing right now. You go check out the Orpheum Theater on 1025, the Givebacular Spectacular, and I'm going to give you a code. The code is Solidarity. It is Solidarity. You enter that in, you get your second ticket for half price. So that's 2 tickets for about $75. Not a bad deal. Also, it's going to be live streaming. I'll tell you more about that, but you can just watch it live on veeps.com or on my Twitch channel. Anyway, I'm trying to create content. I'm trying to get it out there. I'm trying to raise some money. I'm trying to do a good thing. Anyway, I want to see you on the road, and I want to see you either in that theater or on that live stream. Okay, now let's talk about today. Let's talk about Bats. All right, because Bats was a fun episode. We had to cut a lot out. And this is a deleted scene from our Bat show where we got sidetracked talking about Mr. Beast. Yes, the internet personality. Your name and your question.
Hi, I'm Margot, and my question is, can we just talk about the kid who kept on playing the video game at the diner while his father was being attacked by bats?
While his father was thrown across a counter.
Like dragged down the diner counter.
Yeah, like in Superman 2. Like, it's like, how did he do that?
Well, and it's like, here's the version of it that I would buy. A kid listening to his
headphones.
Headphones, exactly. And just like, but he's no headphones on. Seemingly, he's in a perfect vantage point from a
scathing indictment of how video games are turning our kids
Yo,
into
for real, that kid is 4 feet from that man that is being killed. He's right here.
He's oblivious. He's so into the video game.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes when I call my kids and they're watching Mr. Beast, it is the same thing. Like, guys, breakfast. Guys, breakfast.
They're like,
Guys.
he's giving $11 million to a school of fish. Asking them to do better on the AP exams.
He's making all the different ethnic groups fight in a giant gladiator style. And he's going to pay all their medical bills for a year.
Oh, my gosh. He did have a challenge that I found odd. He did his own version of Survivor where I think people couldn't pee for 24 hours. Was that it?
No,
He's going to get someone killed eventually. That's not good.
I think that was the one, Paul, where he drew a circle in a big warehouse and saw how long people could stand in the circle. But then every day, the circle got smaller and smaller. But then there was a part 2, and I never could find it on the internet, so I don't know what happened.
I just want to be on the
I
record.
guess someone won.
We all love Mr. Beast. We're all going to be working for him in a couple years.
Yeah. He will end these strikes.
Oh, here's the thing. You are listening to How Did This Get Beast? And we love Jimmy. And Jimmy loves us. How did this get Beast?
By the way, I just Mr. Beast basketball just arrived at our house tonight.
He's got his own basketballs?
Yeah, I mean, I bought it for my son for his birthday. It came a couple weeks late, but a Mr. Beast basketball did arrive.
Does he play a lot of basketball, Mr. Beast? Is he a hoops guy?
I know my son loves Mr. Beast, and I went to go look on his gift store, and I was like, oh, basketball, that works.
That's the kind of thing that my son could get into that would make him not like Mr. Beast.
The whole car ride, the whole carpool the other day was talking about how Mr. Beast is being sued, and they're like, well, what? Like, for how much? As everybody in the carpool, and I said, $100 million. Like, whoa, he's got it.
Yeah, he does.
I like that every kid knows what Mr. Beast is worth. What
They were
dark
not
times.
worried about the lawsuit. They're like, he got it.
Your kids are all in the backseat reading the Rob report.
All right, welcome back. Last week we talked at length about Bats, a movie that Discord user FunFacts47 thinks could have had the tagline, Bats, it's gonna be crazy. I like that, guano. I like it. Well, we had questions about Bats, and we might have even missed a few things. Here is your chance to set us straight. Fact check us if you will. It is now time for corrections and omissions. Thank you for Angels for Wins. I love that name. That is a great theme song and a great name. All right, let's go to the Discord right now. Cameron H. says, in defense of the Second Opinions writer who said that bats could happen, not only could it happen, it did happen, at least in terms of weaponizing bats and having similar disastrous results. What, Cameron? What are you talking about? Well, he says during World War II, while Oppenheimer was developing the atom bomb, the U.S. Navy had a competing program called Project X-Ray, the brainchild of a dental surgeon who lived near Carlsbad Caverns, a famous bat hotspot. The plan was to attach incendiary devices to thousands of bats and drop them over Tokyo just before dawn. The idea was that the bats would look for the most convenient places to roost, the eaves of homes, barns, schools, etc., and then timers would detonate them once they were settled. Not only was this plan incredibly inhumane to the bats, it was especially barbaric as bats can't be trained to seek out military targets, so most of the casualties would have been civilians. The plan was popular enough that FDR gave it the thumbs up. Predictably, much like the events depicted in the film, things went sideways quickly during the first test run. Immediately, the bats caused millions of dollars of damage to their own Air Force base when they blew up several fuel tanks and the new car of the general in charge of the project, proving that bats are nobody's patsies. Wow, Cameron H. Let's give it to you right now. I mean, who can beat that? We'll see. Derek chimes in, and Derek says, I have an answer to June's questions. Do bats just always have diarrhea? I used to volunteer at the zoo with bats. Basically, flying requires a lot of energy, so bats eat a lot, but most of their food, whether it's bugs or fruit, isn't very digestible and would weigh them down. So bats use a high volume, low processing strategy to get as much energy out while keeping their weight down for flight, so they poop a lot. Bat poop gets a special name because it has high nitrogen content, which makes it very useful for pre-industrial fertilizer and gunpowder. You can check out a whole Reddit about that at reddit.com/r/batfacts for more bat info. But I'm going to tell you, the guano talk continues with Dr. Guts. Dr. Guts says when LDP, that's Lou Diamond Phillips, and Dina Myers are wading in the river of guano, LDP lights a flare to help them see, but guano is highly flammable. In fact, during the Civil War, the Confederate Army actually resorted to using bat guano for ammunition in reaction to the Union's blockades. The moment LDP would have lit that flare, the entire mine would have ignited into a fireball from all the methane gas in the air. In fact, something similar happened, oh my God, in real life. In the 1800s, lightning struck the mouth of a bat cave located in a small Texas town, causing a massive explosion. The townspeople actually found humor in this and renamed their town Blowout, Texas. Holy shit, these are blowing my mind. Corgi Herder writes, if you are creating the ultimate predator and you are a mad scientist like Dr. McCabe, how far down the list are bats? He couldn't find something bigger and already dangerous? Yes, Corgi. I mean, bats, it seems like I don't know, maybe it was jungle warfare? I don't know. I can't pronounce this person's name, but it looks like it's just the image of a bat. When the guys were talking about not being maternal about bats, I had to come here to share this video. All right, so this is wild. This is a clip from a 1978 episode of the BBC news program Nationwide, where zoologist Sherry Bramwell talks about her relationship with the pet fruit bat named Balls. That's right. That's her pet fruit bat named Balls. As you listen to the clip, picture the bat hanging upside down from her neck, like a necklace, because that is exactly what is happening.
Well, my relationship began by having him as a sweet little baby bat, where he was only about 6 inches long, and I sort of tamed him first, and he began to look on me as his mother.
Does he hang around like that all day?
I love having him round my neck, especially in the winter. It's like a sort of electric bat neck warmer. Wonderfully warm on a cold winter day. I mean, I take him about with me. I take him out shopping, and I take him to parties.
What else does he do?
Well, in the morning he wakes me up, which he does by hanging from the head of the bed, and he knows you're asleep because your eyes are closed, like that, you see. And what he does is he takes his thumb, which is this bit here, and he very, very delicately with it lifts open your eyelid without hurting you. He puts it in the upper eyelid and lifts it open and wakes you up like that. And it's amazing because he knows he's got to get the eyes open to wake you, and he knows not to hurt you.
Please find this clip. That is too good. It is too good. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my God. Mitch Kappa, Chunk Style, writes, I had a couple issues with the fortifying the school montage. First, I'm afraid their electric fence wouldn't work because Jimmy was connecting both the positive and negative wires to the fence. That will just create a short circuit. And at most, the small area of fence between the two cables just might get hot. But the larger issue was, why did they pick such a big location to fortify in the first place? They had their run of the town at that point. Find yourself a nice, small, and secure spot with way fewer windows. If LDP took them there just because of the turntable and PA system, I question his commitment to the mission. Wow. Okay, what last but not least, Cameron H. returns with a follow-up to his earlier comment. Cameron, you come at the front, you come at the back. Cameron writes this, "Holy shit, I was researching more into Project X-Ray and discovered that the youngest member involved, Jack Kofer, ended up writing a book about his experience on the project in 1992 called Bat Bomb. After World War II, he worked in Hollywood for a time as a documentarian and a cinematographer, ultimately getting nominated for an Academy Award for Best Cinematography for a little film called Jonathan Livingston motherfucking Siegel." Holy shit, Cameron H., I thought that you would have lost your perch, but you regained it. Doubling down 2 times. No need for debate. Cameron H. is our winner, and as such, he gets this amazing song. Hit it!
You're inside, really impressed, Paul. You win!
Some restrictions apply. All submissions become property of HDTG. All prizes have no cash value.
Basically, you win nothing.
Thank you, Katie Morris, for that song. Remember, if you want to submit an alt movie tagline or chime in with your own thoughts about the latest episode, hit us up on the Discord at discord.gg/HDTGM or call us at 619-PAUL-ASK. That's 619-PAUL-ASK. Stick around after the break. Jason will join me to judge theme song submissions. American Idol style, baby. Be right back. All right, everybody, let's go and check out what's been happening on Matinee Monday. Every Monday, we re-release an older episode back into the rotation. This week's Matinee Monday was Lake Placid with Paul F. Tompkins and Nate Cordry. I love that episode. And since today is Friday the 13th, next week we will be re-releasing our episode on Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. So keep on checking out these replays of classic episodes every single Monday. All right. Now, without any further ado, it's time for Jason to join me in a little Just Chat. Jake Holstein, play us in. Jason, a couple weeks ago, I put a call out to our listeners. I said, you know what? We have had some great themes that have been made by our listeners for our show, the main How Did This Get Made theme. And I said, you know what? Why don't we open it up once again? The show has grown. We have amazing, talented people that are making great songs every week for Last Looks. Why don't we open it up and give them an opportunity to trump, to best what we already have? And if we
I
want to
say, I just want to say to exactly the point you were just making, only in these last, few years have I been dropping in and hanging out with you on Last Look.
Yes.
And boy, is it so impressive to hear all of these fan-submitted theme songs, ancillary songs, all the original music that you guys are doing is incredible. And I was listening back to one of our segments because I couldn't remember if I'd recommended something or not. And I heard a song that I hadn't heard when we were doing it that featured vocals by James Kachalka. You referenced it.
Oh, yes.
Which for me was a blast from the absolute past. James Kachalka is a indie comics creator, a indie music creator, someone whose music and comics were very much a part of I think I spoke to James Kachalka on the phone when I was my college radio station's general manager in 1993 or 4.
Whoa.
Which that blew my mind.
Holy
I was
cow.
really delighted by that. So I just wanted to shout that out because I was like, whoa.
Whoa, I love that. Oh, that's amazing. All right. Well, look, what I'm saying is we got great talented people here. I wanted to give them a shot. Not saying that we're going to replace the theme, but
don't freak out.
We're just opening it up to say, hey.
We're encouraging creativity.
Exactly. And if we find something that works, great. And what we're going to do right now is kind of like, it's kind of like a reality show. Our reality show. We're gonna listen to a little bit of these, and We can comment on them. We can listen to the
we're
whole
gonna
thing.
tear them to shreds.
We are going to Simon Cowell the shit
We're
out of
gonna
these people.
tear these to shreds.
Rob from Long Island, watch out. We're coming for you. Like Jeff Folander, get ready.
Huge mistake, the Action Jackson 5.
All right, so I haven't heard these. You haven't heard these.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Our producer Scott has heard these, and we got three. And you, Scott, do you have any other ones, or just three? Total three.
I might have one or two more if we want to add some into the mix.
All right.
But these were the cream of the crop, according to Scott.
Let's say this, Scott. Let's start us off.
So if
with
these suck, it's on Scott.
Well, that's what I kind of want to do. I want to kind of say, Scott, let's start off with one that you didn't even put into the top three, only because we need a baseline. We need a baseline. It doesn't mean that.
Wow, this is savage for this person.
Like
you're setting this person up as the worst.
I'm not saying this, but look, there's many reasons why it may not be the perfect song, but I don't want this person to feel like you didn't give me my due. Like I submitted it and you didn't even play it. Your producer knocked me out before I even had a chance.
Send your angry emails to Scott.
Yes. So I want you to know that we're on your side. We haven't heard it, but Scott, who's titled the folder here, these are not the ones that he wants. Like, but again,
wow, you're really throwing me under the bus here. But hey, I'll take it.
No, you don't have to. No, honestly, Scott is great, and we want to make sure that everyone feels heard. And you know what? If this stinks, the truth is, it's good for Scott. It's good for Scott.
Just so people know, like Scott, great guy, great producer. I did see him after a Largo show once kick a dog.
Oh, yeah,
that dog had it coming to him, all right?
And by the way, it was a puppy. It was a
puppy.
It was a bow on it. It was really a vicious attack.
Really, it was brutal.
No, but I will say this. We do play a lot of songs on Last Looks that people submit. Some weeks, they're bangers. Some weeks, you're like, okay, that is a song. That technically qualifies as a song. And that's what we're doing here. I think we got to take the pressure off. So here we go. The one that didn't even make the cut. What do we got?
This comes from Benjamin Helton.
Maybe there were 14 different writers. I think the original was French. If only the ADR were a bit tighter. Regardless of the theory, that film made our butt cheeks clench. Now brace yourself for Paul's best faith explanation. Gird your loins for the Jason of our group. Go to Fred for June's righteous indignation. We know it sounds incredulous, but how did this get there?
All right.
Wow. This is what Scott is trying to keep from us.
Yes.
Put it on the show. Put it on every past show, every future show. This is it.
I have to say a couple things about that. First of all, length. Perfect. 40 seconds. Can't get better than that. Second of all, it reminded me a little bit, and I don't want to come across mean here, Ben, but your voice had a little bit of a Kermit the Frog energy.
I thought it was a Kermit the Frog impression at first.
And you know what? It endeared me to the song immediately, and the polka music, very Weird Al. I was engaged.
Here's where I will say I was engaged as well. I thought it was a blast, but the mix is troubling.
Yes.
Because the instrumental track, and I'm genuinely curious, that I can't remember if we've said Benjamin Helton submitted this, and in the mix, the instrumental stuff is mixed too loud and your voice too soft. Mm-hmm. So I'm being assaulted by polka music and can have to focus so hard to make out the clever lyrics.
I also agree. Like I heard... towards the end, I got a little bit more into it. There are some funny turns in it. Jason of our group, the ADR needed to be a little bit tighter. I like it. Again, this is just, we're setting a baseline. And I got to say, anybody who submits, you're a hero. And I'm not against that one. I thought we were going to be. I thought we were going to be.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. We're applying the model of the podcast, which is the show.
Yeah.
We're just doing it to your theme song. So we're not trying to trash you. We're not trying to eviscerate anybody. I think Benjamin did a fantastic job. And frankly, I would just like I would like to hear a redo on the mix.
I'm down. Look, and that's what we're here for. We're not here to just knock him out. We're not here to be like Scott kicking a dog. I got to say, we're going to give people second chances, and we're going to say, hey, maybe there's something you could do here, and that's our little...
No. Scott, stop doing thumbs down. Scott, stop doing active
now
thumbs
he's like
down.
I don't know. Oh, gosh, he's making a noose around his neck. Okay, well, anyway, so now we're out of the Scott wants to kill himself folder. That's the folder that Scott has just used puke emojis on, and we're going to now get to some different ones.
All right, this next one comes from Rob from Long Island, longtime theme submitter, and
huge.
Jason, you will be happy to know he is the one who had James Kuchelka featured on his song as well.
Oh, hey, nice. Oh, great job, Rob from Long Island.
I love this.
Welcome everybody, come on in and have fun, and we'll watch the strangest movies under the sun. Paul and June and Jason are gonna be your hosts as they talk about the movies that confuse us the most, like Mac and Me, Sucker Punch, Jingle All the Way, Geostorm, The Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage, Boogie Loves, Rhinestone, Ladybugs and Runaway, Tammy and the T-Rex Bunches, Scooby and Jade. How did this get made? 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 How did this get made?
Wow. All right. So we've upped it a little bit. Rob always delivers a solid.
Was great.
That was great. I really liked that. I thought that was really fun.
Giving me a little bit like it's the end of the world as we know it vibes, kind of running through all the stuff. I especially like the chorus, the How Did This Get Made chorus.
I liked the bounciness of it, but Jason, I'm going to go back and say what you just said. I think the mix is sometimes the mix is a little too low. I feel like the songs that we've had, the voices are in the front of the music a little bit.
I'm now wondering if that's a fault that we are not, that these may be mixed better, but that what we're listening to or the way we're listening to it over Zoom might be affecting it. Could that be possible?
I mean, Scott, what do you think?
Listening to the local file, I would have to agree as well. I don't think it's just the Zoom.
Okay.
Scott is taking a shit on his keyboard.
I mean, he's ready to go.
Scott is
he's like
literally dumping on his computer.
Angry at
so mad at these submissions.
I mean, but that's that he's a taskmaster. He likes to just get in there and you gotta appease him. You gotta get in there. So I mean, this is good. I like that. I mean,
I liked this. Here's what I'll say. Here's one of my criteria.
Okay, great. Let me hear this.
For a How Did This Get Made theme song, or for actually, and I'm curious, Paul.
Yeah,
Paul, I'm curious how you feel. Are there any criteria, or can you think of any shows that have theme songs that you love, that there's a thing that you like about it? Because I have one. I realized that I feel like the two that we've heard so far, well, the Rob from Long Island's could have benefited a little bit more. And one of the criteria I think that is for us really meaningful and impactful is that the song is hyping up the show.
Yes, I agree. I feel like you got to come in with some high energy,
not
energy,
lyrically or anything like that. But I don't mean like hyping the show, like what you're saying about the show. I mean energetically, the song I think should be a little up.
Well, to me, what I'm also thinking about is the way the show starts. We have a little intro, and then it's like boom, and we're going boom right out, and I do feel like you're right. Like I'm trying to think of the songs.
Can we play Rob from Long Island again? We don't have to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like, frankly, I would like this. This would almost work as an outro theme.
Oh, well, I like that. We don't even have an outro theme. All right, I like this. Okay.
So the show ends, whatever the final things are, and then what happens next, Scott?
Welcome everybody, come on in and have fun, and we'll watch the strangest movies under the sun. Paul and June and Jason are gonna be your hosts.
Okay, so you can stop it here. Now, there's a little bit of stuff that doesn't exactly make sense because it feels like an intro song, but the tone of it, I feel like, is a wind down, not a wind up. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think you're right. I feel like, now here's the thing. I still like the song.
Oh, I really do. That's why I'm advocating it be a end of show theme, like that we have like an end of show.
We have like I mean, there's something about it. Like I I want to come back to this song. I feel like there's something here that's good, but I agree with you. Like it has like it does have a wrap up vibe to it.
Especially because if you go further through, Scott, and start, I feel like it's da-da-da-da-da-da. This is a little bit up, and then the How Did This Get Made, which I really like, is a little bit down. Am I right?
Geostorm, the Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. Boogie loves Rolling Stone, Ladybugs and Runaway. Tammy and the T-Rex, Munchies, Goofy and Jade. How did this get made? How did this get made?
It's great. I like this chant along. How did this get made?
I like
How
this.
did this get made? How did this get made? Like, I feel like, for example, at a live show, the audience would chant along.
I like
to that.
Yes,
part.
I agree. I feel so I think that maybe what we're saying is we like that. There's something there.
Yeah.
Do we need to, look?
Maybe Scott set a Zoom with Rob from Long Island. We're going to need to get into.
We're going to have to figure it.
What's the next level of this on a reality show?
We'd be working with at this point. He'd be
working with coaches.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay.
Again, we are so grateful for everybody who submitted stuff. And truly, it's great.
I love it. Okay, so let's go to our next submission.
All right, this next one is from Jeff Follender. And I think, you brought up being an outro. This was one I thought could actually be a decent outro, but I don't want to sway you before you listen, so.
All right.
How did this get me? Don't seem like these folks should have got paid. Well, John or Paul, Jason and June, they're gonna do their best. And a special guest gonna do the rest. Well, how it's getting made. The best damn podcast show ever got made.
Ooh, it's got a little bit more.
Wow.
Whoa. Okay.
That was incredible, Jeff. What does it say? Follender.
Yes, Jeff Follender. Yes. I really I was gonna say what I liked about that was it felt confident in what it was. Like it didn't.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's the right launch into our show, but
let me be clear, it is not.
But
we cannot start. How Did This Get Made with a 1.5 minute long blues, acoustic blues song. That being said, Jeff. Absolutely incredible job. Like what a
I kind of loved it.
I love it as a song. That's what made me think. Like I agree with Scott, who said you could use it as an outro, you could use it in last looks. There's plenty of places to put it. It just can't. It's not at all pumping you up for.
No,
are you guys ready to rock this show?
But it also feels like very organic to the show, and that's the thing I can't quite figure. I can't like.
Oh, it's vibes.
It's got vibes. It's got vibes for days. It's not the best opening, but at the same time, like I like the sound, I like the voice, I like the lyrics. But yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, I
like
that.
that.
I love that. I thought that was great, and it also made me wanna. And I'm certain we probably can't do this, but there's just so much good stuff that's been submitted for all this type of stuff. Wouldn't it be great if it all lived somewhere as a streamable?
I mean, yeah.
Like you could just a YouTube channel or something. I'm certain we would have all sorts of problems playing other people's music on something.
Well,
but
no,
it would
I
have
mean,
to be
if
such that
they submit it,
weren't making money off of it. Like,
Right,
we're not
right.
trying to make, but wouldn't it be cool for people to have access to all of these great
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's not like they
songs
It's not like they can go off and do that much. It's not like we're taking like Shake It Off and making money off. Like this is a very specific.
But I want to also. Sorry, you didn't let me finish. I also want to do Shake It Off.
Okay, well now we will have to talk.
I want to do. Will somebody start? Is there a How Did This Get Made eras concept?
I mean, look, I'm all in on Taylor Swift. Let me ask you a question, Jason.
Sure, go ahead.
Very, look, everyone's talking about it. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Would you feel comfortable in like I've never seen this much energy around a newly dating couple. Like, and I keep on thinking this is. I know Taylor Swift is famously quiet about her relationships. She seems like she's coming out in a big way here, which I like. But at the same time, how would you feel if a casual relationship that you were in was under the microscope like this?
Oh, I mean, please. That sounds like an absolute nightmare.
It really does, right?
But it's, I think, though, that sadly, both of these people are under a spotlight. Obviously, Taylor Swift so much more. But I do believe, based solely on what I've come to learn in the last few weeks, that Travis Kelce's dating life would also be noteworthy because he is one of the top people in the NFL.
Well, is he dating? Like, does anyone have any notes on this? I don't know who he's dating. He seems like a real lovely guy. Our family, we've adopted the Kansas City Chiefs, not before.
Oh, nice.
Before this, because there's a lot of issues. Like, we were the Rams house, and then June.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
And admittedly, I am not a sports fan.
Yes.
Any sports fan. I don't follow any sports. I'm not a sporto. But, and so I can tend to look at some things cynically.
Yeah.
And I admit this is a cynical point of view.
Yes.
Is there any part of this? Football's reputation has been so terrible.
Yes.
For these last bunch of years. CTE, concussions,
Yes.
concussion protocols, people having heart attacks and almost dying on the field, people like all of this crazy negative stuff around it. Isn't all of this somehow solving football's greatest problems from an optics point of view and reminding it's making football synonymous with pop star love in a way that is kind of a masterstroke of crisis management?
Oh, absolutely. And the only thing I would say about that is it's tricky because Taylor Swift doesn't need to improve her image, right?
Not at all.
And they're lucking out. They're getting to crest on this wave, which is why I think a lot of people feel like, is it publicity? Because Taylor Swift has her concert movie coming out, which is already sold out. It's already gigantic.
Oh, no, I don't think she just made $1 billion off of this tour. She's not, she doesn't need that kind of publicity, if anything.
But I will say, better business for her concert movie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like it is going to benefit on some level via, like, she's getting, like, the only thing that people watch, it seems like, is sports, like, as far as like audience tuning in, and Yellowstone reruns on CBS. But that energy, I think, look, she could be getting shrapnel, not she doesn't even need it, but like, she could be getting shrapnel.
It's incredible the way it has captured the zeitgeist around a couple in a way that I just don't know, in a way that I feel like is from the days of old.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, this feels
we like it.
This feels like old school Hollywood matchmaking, less so like contemporary, like, dating.
And now
this feels,
And can I say something else that I feel like maybe I don't want to be a fuddy-duddy here, but they're both 33. Like, it's not weird. It's not like, it's
great on all those levels.
I mean, I think that sometimes we have these like bigger relationships where it's like, oh, he's 57 and she's 20. And I feel like they're like, they seem like down home people. Like, there's something about it that it all checks all these boxes. It's like a very, like you said, it's pop star love, but she's an adult. They're like they just
for
feel
sure.
like they're in their own personhoods. I don't know. It's very it's an interesting.
I'm very curious to see how this plays out.
I know.
Because
I'm
it is
sad about it.
So public.
Yeah.
In a way that is. In a way that I guess I just wouldn't wish on anyone.
I don't want it to be over, and if it is,
even prior to this relationship, I felt bad for Taylor Swift's prior, like the actor she was dating, Joe.
Yes,
Joe. I
Alwyn.
can't remember his last name. Alwyn.
Yes.
Joe Alwyn and stuff. Because I'm like, oh, they are under such a microscope. There is that to me seems brutal.
It's
and
hard.
This now seems like. That times 100.
I know we talked about it here on the show, or maybe we didn't. I may have talked to you about it privately, but I was going a little bit on the deep dive of Taylor Swift, like I do, and the one who got bit the hardest was Tom Hiddleston. I mean, Tom Hiddleston really took it on the chin, and I think has pivoted in a way to just kind of having to avoid talking about it. And he's now married and all this other stuff. But man, oh man, it's it's hard. It's hard to.
Yeah.
You don't want to be on the other side of that. You don't want to have a song written about you. That's the thing that I'm always thinking about too.
Oh yeah, sure. It's really interesting. It is in a time when I feel like most of our narratives are being supplied by like reality television, like Scandival or something like that. You're right. This is happening for everybody live at a game. Like, this doesn't feel like editing. This doesn't feel like producers are monkeying around. This feels earnest and honest in a way that people, I think, are really responding to it. And it's because I don't know the last time something like this caught this much fire.
Well, it's you have literally the biggest music star in the world and one of the most popular football teams and a legendary Super Bowl champion, great funny guy. Like it's a perfect mix. It's like it's not even Hollywood. It's not Hollywood. It's music.
No,
and sports.
I know. That's what's interesting.
I think it actually is more interesting because it's not Hollywood. It's whatever. Anyway.
People want to know what two middle-aged podcasters have to say about this.
And by the way, no snark. We're just coming at this really from a very general, nice place.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen. I want love.
I want love.
For them.
Give me some.
I also want everybody to leave them alone.
Yes,
I also want to be like, the football still seems fucking bananas. But okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's tricky. It's just tricky when I see pictures of him like leaving her apartment. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot of energy that you don't want. But I also would imagine that he actually has the best energy for it because he's actually funny. And she's got her whole thing escaping in popcorn machines or whatever.
Yeah.
She's got her shit figured out.
That seems fascinating to me.
Oh, I love it.
Someday I hope they auction off all of those things.
Oh,
like an auction of things that Taylor Swift was in.
I mean,
like a janitor's, what was it, a trash can setup
or
something like that.
My gosh.
Cleaning supplies was the one that I saw.
Yeah, the cleaning supplies is the big one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. Last song. Is it the last song?
Last song from Taylor Swift herself. Okay.
Wow. Well, that does bring something up. If you are in a band and you want to write us a song, God damn it, why not?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Mannequin Pussy.
Do it.
I'm looking at you, other bands who are very sweet to say that they listen to the podcast when they're on tour, in the van, or on the bus. If you're listening to the show, write us a theme song. Come on.
Yes. All right, what do we got?
All right. Last but not least, this is from the Action Jackson 5.
How did this get made? Trash can fires in Jacob's ladder. Started out bad, now it's getting badder. Jason Statham, Angelino, down at the Largo is where I seen them. How did this get made? Tall John Shear and Jason Zeus, balcony monsters about to puke. June Ryan asks what's its mission, and where the bunch starts is another question. How did this get made? How did this get made? How did this get made?
Wow.
That's good. I mean, that's great.
That is the one that if we had to pick, I'm going that's my vote because I think it encapsulates everything that we've been talking about. Vocals in the front, right? We did that. Length, great. Funny.
Minute long,
and it
clever lyrics, and it's got a very up tempo. It's got an up vibe. You know, it's not like it's not really fast or anything like that, but it's got an up vibe, and I like that it. I love a big, heavy, riff-driven, hard rock kind of song. It almost tipped into like late '90s rap rock.
Yes,
and I wasn't mad at it. I was like, oh, okay. When the guy comes in and goes, and don't even ask where the butt starts. I was like, oh, is there going to be a rap rock breakdown?
Well, that's
in this
what
song?
I kind of loved about it. Like,
I wanted it.
Well, here's the thing: we've done our like hip hop version. We had our traditional like podcast song. Like when we first had our first podcast song, every song kind of sounded the same a little bit, right? Like had a similar vibe to it. Mm-hmm. And now it's gotten a little bit more interesting. Everything, but I feel like this stamped new territory. It laid it down. Let's hear it again. Let's just hear a little bit of it.
I love a metal hard rock metal theme in the mix is a great addition.
Yeah.
How did this get made?
I mean, I like this.
Trash can fires in Jacob's ladder. Started out bad, now it's getting badder. Jason Statham, Angelino. Down at the Largo is where I seen him.
I love that.
Great.
Tall John Shear and Jason Zeus. Balcony monsters about to puke. Julian asks what's its mission, and where the butt starts is another question. How did this get made? How did this get made? How did this get
Wow.
Incredible. Yeah, I loved it. I liked it even more the second time around.
I mean, I'm in. I like this.
Here's my note. Here's my note to the Action Jackson 5.
Yes.
My only note would be, instead of the long-ish fade-out pull-down, that there be a punchier end. You know, almost like ha ba 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 ba. You know, like something that's like a real cutoff point so we can start the show.
Yeah.
That's really it. Because the decay in between, for us, the decay is a problem.
I agree.
You know?
Yes. I mean, look, this is great. I hope this inspires people right now to.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I
love
mean,
it.
You know,
well, it's almost got it's got a Motley Crue style lyric. And vocal performance from the Action Jackson 5, but like a heavy, scuzzy, hard rock kind of vibe, which I dug.
I'm in. I like this, Jason. This is a great experiment. We're in no rush. We're not gonna replace. We don't even know if we're gonna replace it. But we
might never replace it. How about that?
I know.
How about that? Or we're replacing it tomorrow.
Boom, and that's it. And it's gonna be that first one with the accordion. And that's
it's the polka,
and that's to spite Scott. And I'm sorry we had to do it to Scott like this, but so sorry, Scott.
Yeah, Scott, fuck you.
All right, we will be back next week as Jason. We finally discuss what movie you were thinking about. A lot of people have weighed in about this. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jake. That was a great theme song right there. Jake, you ever think about submitting? I mean, that was a grind punk. I love it. Anyway, thank you to all of you who submitted the theme song and let yourself be put up to that scrutiny, which you didn't even know was going to happen. We appreciate everyone who takes the time to make music for us. We truly do. We love it. And remember, if you want to make a theme song, send it to us at howdidthisgetmade@earwolf.com. Remember to see us out on the road. Tickets are available at hdtgm.com. Go get those tickets now. And now that we got bats out of the way, let's talk about next week's movie. We are going from winged beasts to Italian priests. That's right. Next week we are watching 2023's, it feels like yesterday, The Pope's Exorcist, starring Russell Crowe, a movie inspired by actual files from the Vatican's chief exorcist. You heard me right. The Vatican's chief Exorcist. Here's a short breakdown of the plot. The Vatican's leading exorcist investigates the possession of a child and uncovers a conspiracy the Vatican has been trying to keep secret. Anyway, Rotten Tomatoes gives this film a 48% on the tomato meter. Catherine Bray of Empire Magazine writes, "It's not just the demonic possession victims whose eyes will be rolling in the back of their skulls. None of this should work, really, and yet the film just about gets away with it, proving the Lord truly does move in mysterious ways." I couldn't agree with you more, Catherine. Let's listen to the trailer for The Pope's Exorcist.
Oh my God. There is a great evil that only you can help.
Inspired by the actual files.
We have work to do.
Of the Vatican's chief exorcist.
It's the Vatican seal. The church is hiding something. You've been played. Who will defend you? My faith does not require defense.
The Pope's Exorcist. Rated R. In theaters April 14th.
All right, people, you're going to have a blast. It's on Netflix. Remember to rate and review the show. It helps. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, make sure you are following us. Tell your friends. Visit us on social media at HDTGM. And a big thank you to our producers, Scott Sonny and Molly Reynolds, and our movie-picking producer, Avril Halley, our engineers, Casey Holford and Rich Garcia, and Jess Cisneros, who makes those amazing social media videos. We will see you next week for The Pope's Exorcist.